Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Chris McEwen over there, my partner in crime, Bill Bush of DriverRangeHeroes.com. Happy to be with you, as always. The first show of the new year, 2022. And man, there are changes happening with That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. In a sense, it's the same darn show you've always loved. Chris, would you like to speak to maybe some new formats where you can find the show?
Sure. Right. It wouldn't be a That Range Life production if we didn't randomly do things randomly. Yep, got it. This is our 100th show and our first show. Mm-hmm. Right? Because we've been doing this show on the YouTube, or as we like to call it, the YouTube, for quite some time. We've been doing it for a while, 100 shows worth. Now...
Wait, I just did the math on this. We've almost been doing this show for 2 years.
Yeah, pretty close.
Jesus Christ.
Pretty close.
It really is a blur.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for a while on YouTube. Now, though, for whatever reason, why we didn't do this a long time ago when we figured out that this was going to be a thing and people sort of listened and liked it, we've made it available as a podcast. So some of you may be listening to this with your ears while others are watching it with their eyes. We wanted to have, provide both options moving forward. And this is how it'll be. We do this we have a show every week. And we talk about golf sometimes. Sometimes we have fruit drafts. Sometimes we talk about television. You'll get the gist of it. It's a show sometimes about golf. So for those that are listening to the podcast and being introduced to the show for the first time, welcome. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And whether you're listening to the podcast, watch this, Bill, or watching on YouTube, you should subscribe.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And maybe even subscribe to both, because you never know. Like sometimes you won't be able to watch the show, or sometimes you'll be in the mood to watch two idiots talk to each other, live on camera.
And so maybe we're in a freezing cold garage. Maybe
sometimes you want the visual of two dummies in a garage that is 40 degrees.
Two dummies is the exact perfect way to explain us too. But yeah, and who knows? I like to envision there's a day where, hey, maybe there's some content that's YouTube exclusive or podcast exclusive. I don't know. Well, we don't know. We don't. We'll figure it out. But subscribe to both and support the cause more than anything.
That's the other thing that you'll get is that we do a lot of experimentation on the fly, because we have to. That's how I like to work. I just like to try it and do it. And God bless Bill for just following along and dealing with my my anxiety about everything and show stuff.
I'd say probably one of the biggest control freaks for somebody who likes to just operate on the fly, like not understanding control and spontaneous on the fly don't necessarily go well together, but two peas in a pod. What can we say? Right.
It's because I think I have a formed idea in my brain, but I can't communicate it well enough, or I'm worried I'm not communicating it well enough. So I just try to control the whole thing while I'm also sort of experimenting. As I said before the show start, I've got a thing for us to do, after the show, but that was all I could really communicate.
Yeah, and then I dared to make a joke about it. No, not like that. I'm like, I know it's not like that, Chris.
I wasn't angry. I didn't. That's not.
Well, now it's not.
That is not
it's not
a representation.
Just go with the bit. It's for the show.
No, we have new friends here. I don't want people to think I'm a complete psycho. Just half a psycho.
Sneak peek. He is a complete psycho.
Anyways, we have another. Oh, here we go. There we go. So look at this. I got the same thing you got.
Yeah.
We have another sort of announcement for show 100/1.
Oh,
why don't you give this announcement?
So
it's very exciting.
If you've watched the show on YouTube or listened to it in the background of your computer or phone or tablet, whatever format you choose, we have regularly spoken of our love for Bridgestone golf balls. And over the past, I don't know, would you say year or so, we've been in communication with them, and more very, very much so on just sort of like, hey, friends supporting friends, both directions, way, for lack of a better way of putting that. I don't know, over the last few months, I remember the specific round, and I won't say exactly when it was, but you and I were strolling down a fairway, believe it or not, both of us in the fairway, discussing the golf balls we were playing off of the tee that day, and both of us had Bridgestone golf balls in our bags, and we were happy with how we were hitting them. And just we were talking about how much we love them, and I shared that anecdote with one of our mutual friends and said, well, maybe we should do something. Maybe we should partner up here. And starting the new year, we are happy to announce we have the official golf ball of that Range Life Show, Sometimes About Golf, Bridgestone golf balls.
Yeah.
Very excited. Very excited to partner up with these guys, taking really good care of us as always. Hopefully we'll have some good content maybe over on our Gear Talk videos about the new balls coming out in 2022. I am a big Bridgestone Tour BX and BXS sometimes golfer. You have had success with the BXS, though I believe now you've been playing the E12 Contact, also great ball, but I digress. The new Tour B stuff is coming out here in 2022, so hopefully we'll get some time to tell everybody all about that. But I don't know. I've gone through a lot of golf balls over my time, and I've switched brands on a regular basis. But every now and then you find a ball where it's like you just get set with it, and it's almost like I'm no Bryson DeChambeau or anything, but I feel like a lot of the competitors to Bridgestone with premium golf balls, you will go by, let's say, just box after box, and they, sometimes they just don't feel the same, or they just don't perform the same, and you do notice inconsistencies in the golf ball. And I know that sounds like a silly thing, like all right, easy, Tiger Woods, feeling the air bubbles under your grip. Like, I'm not saying that, but it is that noticeable. And there's something about the consistency and reliability of a Bridgestone golf ball I really come to depend on. And I know what I'm getting. I know what to expect from it. And sleeve after sleeve, they do the same thing. And that's what I love about them. And then when I'm like, hey, my game's changed a little, I need to switch to something, just go to I can do their online fitting, the video fitting program they do, or I can just really like look at the back of the box and go, oh, this one's supposed to do that. It's kind of what my game's like right now. Give it a shot, and shocking, it does it. And I realized I've been doing that for like the last 3 years. So it's kind of fun to make it official and be like, I have good cause now to rely on the Bridgestone golf ball every single time I'm on the golf course.
Yeah, it's selfishly, it's so great because I was already using the ball. Like you said, I've been using that golf ball forever. Since I did my original fitting, and the people over there are super cool. We're pals with a couple of them. We've had Elliot on the show. I've had, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name now on the podcast. So, they're good people, and they make a really great product. And, it works out great for me.
Yeah. I'm very excited about it. And I think, I look forward to more frivolous bets of shots from under trees that we both hit terribly.
That's right.
To win a golf ball off of each other pointlessly.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're hoping that the partnership, that we can sort of extend some of the benefits to our listeners / viewers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be ideal.
So, hey, go check out some Bridgestone content, like our reviews at DriveRangeHeroes.com. Go to their website, do their video fitting program. I could not encourage that enough.
It's free.
The way I did it, it's really kind of fun. You just set a box of golf balls in front of your ball. You take a swing, and you just send them that video, and they go, oh, all right. And they can calculate it based on the size of, they slow it down and how fast that club moved in relation to the size of that box of golf balls. And they're like, well, this was your swing speed. These were your angles, blah, 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 blah. Boom. Here's your recommendation. And it works. They'll send you samples They send you samples. So you can like validate it. It's great. It's great. Try it out. It's fun. All right. Cool. That's new for 2022. Very excited about it.
Right.
Speaking of the new year, another one of our favorite annual traditions started on January 1st.
Is it one of our favorite? Might be one of your favorites.
Chris, I'm talking about dry January.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Good old dry January.
2 days into it. I will tell you, day one, I was a little hungover from Christmas Eve. Probably to be fair, still. From New Year's Eve. And it got to like around late afternoon. I was like, it's New Year's Day, still the holidays. I'm like, I could go for a beverage. I'm like, what if I just said I'll start it after the holiday weekend? I'm like, no, you can't do it. But I'm 2 days in now. I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm definitely in I can do this mode. I can do this.
Yeah, you're feeling good.
I'm wondering when that will wear off and then when the mood swings will start.
I have to tell you that I thought about the same thing. So, and you had mentioned it, I think, about New Year's Eve being on a Friday, which means, we still have a whole weekend to go. And I thought about that today. And I think the exact same thing happened to me last year where it's Sunday, Bears are on football. It's the first Sunday of the dry January effort. Mm-hmm. And that's like the most natural time, to crack a beer and just sit and watch football for 5-6 hours. And not being able to do that again, I got the pang that I got last year, I think. I also don't know. I mean, I think I drink more than you do for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really drink much during the week. I drink like every night I have a drink, but, this has been now the third year or fourth year in a row, whatever it's been that I've done it, third year in a row. That first night I sleep horribly. I have weird dreams. Like it really messes with my sleep, man. Like,
yeah.
I remember this. I remember this from last year too, like not being able to fall asleep.
So you're right. And like you said, and I wonder if it's just not set in it's something that's just set in your brain. Right. So I did, it was one night off. I take multiple nights off during the week as don't drink on a school night kind of a thing.
Right.
There's something about, I ate well yesterday. I didn't drink yet. I woke up. I think I got 9 hours of sleep, if not more. And I woke up and I'm like, God, I slept terrible. Now, to be fair, I think I was up from like 4 o'clock on the hour till about 9 having to pee. And I mean, it was like I drank a gallon of water and Gatorade combined, just tons of fluids.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, I don't know, where's this coming from? And again, the super intense dreaming, but it's like, that's not withdrawal yet. I think it's like going to bed in that like mental space of knowing I'm in for this month long.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I don't know what I think. One of the things too is I go to bed earlier when I don't have a drink,
right.
Because it's part of me preventing me from having a drink. Right. Like, I'll just go to bed. And so that just doesn't, I stay up forever every night. But so whatever. But it's January and it's good. I will feel like by the time we get to midweek, maybe even earlier, I think like I already feel like I have more energy. I feel better.
The detox is real. It's very,
it's 100%.
And I mean that. Like, I mean that in the good way, not like we got a problem detox.
No, yeah.
Which by the way, that will hit. Do you remember last year where it was something like 9 days in and I'm like, God, why do I feel bizarre or whatever? I'm like, nah, what if you had those withdrawals already? And then I Googled it and it's like, oh no, alcohol withdrawals definitely can kick in. About 10 to 14 days in too. And I was like,
right.
Oh, well, that's good. Now I feel better knowing that's what I'm dealing with. And shocking, like the next day I felt great.
Yeah, and I think I always worry. Like this is also when I test to make sure that I haven't crossed a line of dependence.
Yeah,
on alcohol. Like, okay, I'm not getting the shakes. I'm not whatever. So I can feel good about myself.
So I'm going to throw this out here to you. We have discussed previously potential mid-month reprieve based on certain, I mean, God willing, COVID can, I don't know if you've seen COVID news out west lately.
Yeah. You need to make that decision sooner than later too, by the way.
Not great is all I can say.
Yeah.
But anyway, point being there, I think I'm like, because usually we say, oh, okay, I can January 31st, I can come back because it's my birthday, right?
You get a free day. Yeah.
I think if we don't stick to it and we give ourselves the mid-month break, I think I have to go clean on my birthday, and I think we have makeup days into February. I think that's what we certainly have.
We for sure have makeup days. Those are borrowed days. We have to pay back.
Do you think we
debt.
do with a little interest, like maybe a day or two?
Sure.
I think we have to do that. I think we do.
Yeah, carry it till like Valentine's Day. When you and I will go out on have our dinner together. And
right, exactly. Then we deserve our nice bottle of wine, right?
Right.
Well, I don't know about you. We talked about this a couple weeks ago in the pre-garage episode.
Yeah.
I was hitting a point where I've been looking forward to this. I'm like, I need, especially I think knowing what it was like last year, getting the refresh, the clean month. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference in December.
For sure.
Holidays or, Thanksgiving through can sneak up on you. So I'm welcoming dry January, even though I know what I'm in store for.
Right. I totally agree. I think it's a fun thing. I'm glad that you're doing it again. So I have a friend.
Misery loves company and all that. Right.
Right. So yeah, no, I do really like it. I do feel way better at the end of the month, and then I go right back into my terrible habits of.
We're gonna have to start. We're probably gonna have to introduce a second month in the year. Was it Sober October that people do?
Yeah, I think Adam does Sober October. He mentioned it. I don't think he did it, but I think he mentioned it.
Yeah, we might have to pick that one up too. We'll see.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. All right. Speaking of a more New Year's stuff, you sent over a text for this next topic. Why don't you bring us into it?
Well, I've been wanting to do this. I kept bringing it up over and over again around New Year's resolutions or well, I guess we don't have to do. We can do some goals too, like 2022 goals, golf or life, or otherwise.
I don't think I can go into life goals or resolutions, and I said on the notes here that I'm keeping it golf specific.
All right, fair.
For a variety of reasons. But I don't think I'm quite ready to get into golf goals yet. And I think that's largely because of my resolution. And it's like, I think part of as much as I try to be kind of footloose and fancy free with my golf all season and just take advantage of the good opportunities where they come. Sure. My resolution I have is also why I feel like I can't set the goal in this. I need to get this under control in order to start setting some goals that I'd like to set.
I see what you're saying. Sure.
I need to get my driver consistently under control. And I have found this to be really since I resolved my wedge yips. I have found the driver to be a constant up and down battle for me. And I can resolve it usually temporarily. And then it's like, great. I know I can hit the ball relatively in play off the tee and I'm feeling pretty confident about it. But then it's like, cool, I'm 110 yards out and can't hit a green. Or
right.
I haven't.
Are you going to do anything active? Like, are you going to see someone to get over your yips? Like you had a guy, like you went to Andy, like, are you going to do that? Or are you just going to go to the range and be more purposeful
I'm going to start there. I'm going to start there. It's like, cause I know the things I've talked to Andy in the past about like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you just give me some looks? And he's, hey, do these things. And usually shocking when I go and take a look, like, God, why am I struggling with the driver again? It's the same stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to start with trying to be more purposeful. And it's like, I've been doing this long enough and have fought these battles enough to go, all right, I am doing the things I'm supposed to do as far as I can tell. And I can see in my own videos, whatever.
Right.
what do I need to do differently? I can't see it. Then I might be like, all right, I'm going to call somebody in. And the one thing I'm very worried about, I have a friend who is also experiencing some driver woes. He's like, I went to one lesson, and don't get me wrong, not cured, but he's like, yeah, just do these two things. And I did these two things and just boom, 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 boom. And it was pretty easy. Now, muscle memory, all that stuff still comes and gets me, but blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. I don't feel like the quality of my game's to the point where I really need to retool my swing and go through some massive swing change. So I've never been I don't practice 7 days a week. I don't play 6 times a month. Sitting there going through these massive swing changes is never going to be a thing.
It's not going to, right.
I'm not
the answer.
I'm very little mechanical. I'm very much a feel player, so to speak.
Right.
If I played more, it might be different, but it's just, I don't, and I can't. So
I think if you played more, you would just naturally figure it out. You've had it before. You're an athlete. You know what, like you were saying, you know what you do well and wrong. And if you were playing every weekend, you'd figure it out.
Well, and that's also where I think I could go to somebody and be like, oh, you need me to change this path or this turn or whatever. Like I'd be able to do that because I'd be out there on a regular basis. Right. It's just not in the cards. And I do know people. So I don't want to go to like some new coach and be like, yeah, oh, great. Because I did try this once and I'm like, why am I sitting here with a 7-iron trying to change my swing? I didn't have a problem with my 7-iron and my wedges. And it's like, why is my driver spraying all over the place when it normally doesn't? Help me out. And so that was a mess. So I think I'm going to start with the things I know and what I usually do and try to just be more purposeful and focused. But along those lines, great. Like I said, I can't hit a green from 110 yards now because I just go to the range and beat a bucket of balls with 3 woods of drivers. All of a sudden, and a couple of wedges just to, get my eye-hand coordination going. Like that doesn't do me any good. I need to still be able to hit a green from 190 yards, 175 yards. And I still have the dreaded, like whatever it is with my 8-iron that I can't hit my 8-iron straight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
To save my life. Like it's just cursed. Like I'm told you, I'm puring every iron in my bag right now. And it's funny saying that as I think we got 6 inches of snow overnight. And less than a week ago, I was playing perfectly playable golf into greens with holes cut. So I am puring my irons right now. Maybe the snow will melt and I'll be able to play golf again soon. I'm not optimistic, but I feel like I can hit a green with every single iron in my bag except an 8-iron. One of the arguably top 2, 3 easiest club to hit.
I was going to say the 8-iron is like,
just throw it at the ball and flip it,
Give me a break. Right.
It's like, they're like, oh, you don't flip the wrist. That's real bad. Don't flip. You can flip an 8-iron all day long.
It's an 8-iron. Who cares?
Yeah. I'm just brutal. So that's my big resolution right now. It's like, so I guess the resolution is really like be more purposeful in my practice so I can be tight all the way through. And especially,
now, don't you have a goal to like, I don't want to give away any sort of blogs or videos to come, but, or what's in the bags maybe, but don't you have a goal of playing with more, some different type of equipment this year? Or is that a goal and not like a resolution, I guess, technically speaking?
I was thinking about talking
because I can't imagine that would be healthy for the driver if you're hitting something that
will be. I can't.
Maybe.
I also have no idea what to expect. So
right.
I'm not going to talk about too much, but because I thought about this too in my notes. I'm like, should I add this in here? And I couldn't. I'm like, is it a resolution? Is it a goal? I do think it's more in the goal territory. So
okay.
But that feels like a must, and like I need to do it more than once. If that doesn't, I mean, there's people who are hearing this and going, I know exactly what he's talking about. So for them, like, I know I'm not trying to trick you, but if you don't regularly talk to us or even regularly watch the show
or listen to it now.
Yeah. Or listen to it. Stay tuned. So
I guess mine overlap from a goal to a resolution or whatever, but I did exercise today.
Attaboy.
So I'm one of those. Yeah. Fired the mirror back up. At one point, my wife, listeners, you'll get used to that eventually. She laughed at me because I was just tossing F-bombs at the instructor in the mirror who, couldn't hear me, but
deservedly, they deserved it.
It's like, yeah, man, it was quite a thing. But anyway, so I did that, which is fun, but, and I hope to do it more. Let's start. I wrote mine down because, damn professional here.
I don't understand how typed out in our show document isn't writing it down.
Because I want them cold to your ears.
Okay. That's just saying I'm not professional for not writing it down. It's not true. I wrote it down. But
fair.
Cold tomatoes. Can I interrupt you real quick? Because we got our first My Wife of the episode.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but my kids got like really into their Christmas presents this weekend, which is kind of nice. Like just left us alone.
That's fun. Yeah.
So I watched a lot of the hockey coverage over the weekend, and there was the Winter Classic. So it was on TNT, and you have Paul Bissonnette, Biz Nasty, you have Wayne Gretzky, you have Rick Tocchet, and what's his name, Liam McHugh, I think, in the studio. And it's a lot like the TNT basketball coverage. It's very funny. It's loose. The guys joke around, and one of these guys, Paul Bissonnette, has a mustache going, like a pretty good mustache going, and people are sending in tweets and they're showing him, and someone did like a Photoshop of him as Borat. Yeah. And he started going, my wife, Yeg Shemesh, doing all the things. And I was like, oh God, I wish I was recording this right now. I'm just like, Chris, it's our bit.
Okay. Anyways,
back to your resolutions.
So we're still looking for those 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube.
I thought about that too. I'm like,
still a little short. That's kind of goal resolution. So the resolution will be to be more active, to sort of get the 1,000, which is going to lead to some other things. And by active, you'll see what I mean. Because I also resolved to record and produce at least 50% of my rounds played.
Yeah.
This year. And some people, if you don't, they're like, well, that's easy. You just, bring a camera with you and whatever, but it's not. It's not. I'll just put it that way. Sometimes
I think if you and I were more, I'm glad you brought these last two up, because one, I thought about the 1,000 thing too, and I'm like, in a weird way, I'm gonna go a little deep with you here. In a weird way, in an effort to
everybody pull up a chair,
not be a crazy person this year, following the second half of the year I had. I'll just put it that way. Right. Like I'm really just going to try to be like, feel like I'm get stabilized with anything like website, whatever related. And I felt like for the YouTube stuff, I was like, one, like, you're probably going to say something about it, so I didn't want to take your resolution. Right. Two, for me, like that's very much goal oriented, and like I would love to be part of that resolution of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you will be.
Well, right. But I didn't want to be like, it's like I knew it's like I just can't get like let myself get crazy about these things. And I think go back to now the second resolution of recording 50% of your rounds, and it's not easy to do. I mean, we recorded one at one point, and it wasn't even that much work. And then especially the Tour Edge match, that was a little work. Yeah. And we had fun, whatever, but the two of us are not, like, let's be honest, we are not the same as many of the other YouTube golf content creators. We don't just like hold cameras like this, go every 6 seconds,
right.
And just
that's
like, like snap cut to every single little thing where it's like you're having a seizure the whole time.
Right.
And we have these plans. How many times have you and I gone out and like, oh, we have these plans, and then both of us are like, you know what? It's hard because I just want to enjoy the company, the sights and sounds, not be like, did I capture what I needed to capture here? And I think that's a great resolution you have, because if we can find the sweet spot, and that's what we say, like what we like about the stuff when we do record, that's what comes through, I think, in our content,
Right.
I think of like the sub 70 contest video short set, let's just call it short set video you and the Riv did. Like that kind of thing, it just really captured that still captured that and didn't seem overwhelming. That's what makes it hard to be like, all right, good. We got the lav mics on. We're doing everything. Like you just said, like, I just want to enjoy the afternoon or the morning or whatever.
It's totally true. And that, you just covered exactly why it's so difficult sometimes, because sometimes you just want to hang out with your pal and play golf. And you referred to my craziness before. And I think Adam has talked about it before too, but it's hard for me to enjoy a round of golf when I'm worried about shots with the camera, not shots with a golf club.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm going to do more of it because I think we do enjoy it. I think we do have fun with it. I think people like watching it. And so we're going to do more of that. We're going to do more range stuff, you and me, for the show or for the YouTube channel. So it's that kind of stuff where, we're going to do more of that stuff because I think that'll help. Because we're still we've done, the past year, we more than doubled subscribers. Like, it's not like they aren't coming. But,
big time. God, big time.
Right. So there's that one.
Do you know? I want to say it tripled in the last year, didn't it?
I think so.
That's crazy.
I think so.
I've not put it into those terms before. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite and the hours watched and stuff is insane.
Right.
We won't even talk about that. But anyways, so if you're out there and you watch our stuff, just subscribe already. All right.
Thank you.
Jeez Louise.
Appreciate you.
The link will be in the description of the podcast. So that's one, or I guess maybe two. I don't know. I still haven't broken 80. I guess maybe that's a goal that I have to resolve somehow to work.
I got a YouTube series. Here's the YouTube series. I don't know how, I don't know what, but we do like a regular Chris breaking 80 series, and I will caddy them. Riv shoots them, I caddy them, you play.
Great.
Nice.
I'm in. I just get to play golf and not have to worry about camera work or anything.
You still will, because I know you, but I think that's what we do.
Oh God, can you imagine the day that I break 80? It's a good thing we can't play golf in January, because if we were doing dry January and I broke 80, that'd be the end of that.
I'd have to move you I'd punish you with dry July.
Right. So yeah, I got to figure out how to do that still. I've gotten close, but just haven't done it. And then, our pal, I brought him up now a couple of times, Adam Unfiltered, listeners new to the show. This is Adam Fonseca, who hosts Golf Unfiltered podcast at golfunfiltered.com. We call him Adam Unfiltered. We call him AUF. We call him Off. We call him, Hooch. Whatever. He was complaining publicly on Twitter that he'd never been on a golf trip, even though I have asked him on several occasions if he wanted to go on my golf trips that I go on. So I'm going to force him to go on some sort of golf trip with me this year.
If only someone had a place near a bunch of courses in Wisconsin and actually made it happen. If only we knew someone.
Yeah. I mean, if there's like some sort of permission slip that, I need to fill out, or, I don't know, bribe, whatever. That'd be great. That would make me very happy, because that's another thing now you brought it up, is that, we got to get back to Lasonia. Mm-hmm. We just got to get back to Lasonia. I feel like that was just such a fun day. Even if it's a day trip, I'd prefer it to be a 2-day trip, because that's a long day. But man, I would love to go back there again.
I want to see the Woodland course redone. I feel like we talk about Lasonia and wanting to revisit for the same reasons about every 4 episodes.
Probably.
Get used to that, podcast listeners.
Yeah. There's a couple different places that I'm going to have to. It's going to be like this thing where I have all these places I want to go to, but I'll only get to like 2 or 3, right? Because we have all these other things that are going on in life, and I have all these other trips that I'm going to have to go on, like for family and stuff. But like, I haven't been back to Forest Dunes since I went there, and that place is amazing. And they've done a bunch of cool new things there with the short course, whatever. And man, I would just like to have you guys come with, because this is pre us. And I think we would just have such an awesome time there.
Yeah, I want to do Forest Dunes bad.
God, it's so cool. Like, just give, 3 days is, that's it. We can drive in, we can play, we can sleep, we can play, we can sleep, we can play, and we can leave. Or we can just leave the third day. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever.
Right.
You can play both. You can play 2 courses in a day. We could easily, but
I do feel like
it's just awesome.
As you're saying a lot of years, I'm like, God, this is how like borderline debilitating and frustrating the game's gotten. Cause it's like, so I drove to, all the way to Oakland Hills with Brian Tweed and John Heisey from the site. And it's like, it was 10 hours of driving that day, chase and losing an hour and all that business. I guess I gained it coming back, but I gained it the wrong way to make my life easier.
Right.
And that's not fun to do.
Right.
When you're chasing your golf ball everywhere, and it's like, I'm going to shoot 112 today purely because I can't just like pop one off the tee, just even if it's like 250 yards, just it's out there.
Right.
And so in a way, I feel like if I don't settle that, what's the point on a big Bandon trip? Or, I got out at insert super private club in Minnesota here, or Michigan, whatever. It's like, I feel like once that falls into place, maybe that'll be a future episode. I'll be like, all right, mid-year resolutions, like you finally conquered that. Now, what are your like end of year goals you're going to set for yourself here? So, and resolutions, but there are a lot of places. We got really lucky. I got really lucky, playing some cool stuff last year. And I think next year there's talks of some more cool stuff that I'd legitimately like never dreamed of. And, it'd be really nice to solve one. So these things like, yeah, Chris, cool. I'm going to cash in the tokens and take the pass, and I'm going to go to Forest Dunes for 3 days with you or whatever. And not be like, well, this was great, And don't get me wrong, I don't need to shoot a 67 to feel like I've enjoyed myself and had a great day. That's not the point here. No. But you also don't want to feel like you're spending this time, effort, money, missing time with your young family to be like, I may as well have been playing baseball out here,
Right. Yeah. I just don't like, I don't like worrying about leaving, the same day of playing around, if that makes sense. Like, I want to get there. It's fun to get there. You're full of energy and you're going to play and it's cool. Like, whatever, you leave first thing in the morning, you play that afternoon, and then you go to bed exhausted, whatever. But I don't want to do all that. I don't want to, like, on the 16th tee, start looking at traffic. When I just if I'm going to drive that long and then play that long of a round and then drive, it's like, that's not fun for me. I don't want to do that. I want to go. Well, and there's something else to be said about just like going with your pals, obviously, and just being like, having a meal, some drinks, play some golf, relax, whatever.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I could take those trips. Like, I don't have sort of the obligations and responsibilities you have. Like, I could do however many of the Golfer's Journal golf trips, right? Yeah. I could pick and choose. I could do 3 of them if I wanted to. Who cares? But I want to play with you, and I want to play with Riv, and I want to play with Adam. I want to play with my guys, right? I want to play with like the people that I love playing golf with.
That's another
I'm too old to make new friends. Like, I don't.
It sort of comes with age, right? Where you're like, because I remember.
Like, if I'm going to take that time, if I'm going to spend that money, I want to be with the exact people that I want to be able to do it with.
Before we got married, my wife worked retail and even like after we got married, would be gone all day Saturday, coming home, leaving the house at like 8 a.m, coming home at 10 o'clock at night. And Sunday, something similar. So I'd be like, all right, well, I'll just go to some cool golf course with whatever. And none of my buddies can go, whatever. I don't care. And I'd show up at, this is before, again, I think we talked about this, but the highway going on to Elgin existed. It was just like a shitty little road and still took an hour to get there. Like, I'll just go there and play a bunch of golf and then maybe go over to Prairie Landing. I don't know. And play with strangers. Not that there's anything wrong with playing with strangers, but same thing. It's like, I don't want to go spend all this money to play Blue Mound in Wisconsin with a bunch of people who listen to No Laying Up podcast. Like, I don't know you guys, and maybe I'll meet some great people. I'm sure something.
I have no doubt that I do know some, like, I know some people that
it's when
take those trips and do that stuff for sure.
It's when, for me, it's like, our time as we're older is more valuable, I guess is what I'm saying. And so when you're going to spend your time, you really want to maximize the return on it and do it. Because I don't know about you. It's like, fine, I can't go on that golf trip with Chris, Adam, John, Tommy, insert really good golf friend of mine here. Right. Well, then I would rather go do this barbecue thing or go do this other hobby activity, whatever, with my friends in that world. And I think so that's why, I mean, I totally agree with you. You run into that issue.
Yeah. And I've done the travel by myself. I've done, I've done all that stuff. I get to your point is, at this point now, like, I want to do, if I'm going to do something like that, it's going to be with the people that I draft. That I choose to do it with. So,
yeah, that's a good one.
We'll see next year, if we don't do any of those, maybe I'll be like, well, screw it, bastards.
Well, yeah. And there's always,
leave me place.
Yeah, I'd say there's definitely always a place for it. Let's be honest with you. Like, hey, you guys are all busy and the family's out of town and the day's perfect. Maybe I'll drive out to Silvis, Illinois and play a deer run by myself or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, those are my early year resolutions / goals.
I like them. I think they're good ones. We'll forget, but we'll have to do a mid-year check-in and see how we're doing.
Yeah, someone will hold us accountable. Listeners, viewers, I
know exactly.
Remind us.
I know who it'll be. Don't worry. All right. Listen, thank you for listening to our now podcast.
I know, it's fun, man. It's it's kind of funny. We did a podcast way back in the early days of the pandemic,
which we still have to cap off.
I know you want to tie that. Well, when the pandemic's over, okay,
when we're dead,
wrap it up. But it feels like the old days.
It does a little bit. It does.
We didn't even get to. One of my favorite golf tournaments is this coming week. As this show drops, I think it starts the Sentry.
Is that this week?
The Tournament of Champions. I believe it starts January 5th. Right? I
mean, I don't know because it was very authentic, but just basic math. It usually is this time of year. Yeah. Well, how about that?
Did you see the field?
No,
it's like the field of fields. It's amazing.
I don't know if I did know that. I don't know if you knew this. Phil decided he's going to play a tournament he hasn't played in a long time. Get it? It's like, yeah. All right. The joke's good.
It's true. Yeah. Phil will be there. The only invite or the only qualifier that won't be there is Rory. Like everybody else, Spieth, Thomas, I don't know if you know this, but Spieth and Thomas are like really best friends. They grew up together and stuff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
They're going to be there. Leishman's playing, the whole, everyone.
Still,
Harris English is going to defend his championship.
The best.
I do love that. I do love the tournament though, because it's,
it's so fun. It feels so, it's like in a way, so good to be back. And then,
and they shoot gamblers out there. If you're wondering, no one's ever won it, I think, by shooting worse than 20 under.
Right.
So these guys are just going crazy on the golf course, and it's just fun to watch.
It wasn't this tournament, right? It was the next one in Hawaii where last year the Justin Thomas hot mic incident happened, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ooh. I think it was definitely in Hawaii.
That's good.
I don't know if it was this one or what's the next one? Sony?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we get Smiley Kaufman out there to make more fishing videos with Jordan Spieth to distract? Yeah, still the best content in American golf history.
I miss those dudes. I miss those single crazy spring break dudes, man. They were a blast.
They were. Damn kids growing up, Chris, I tell you. Anything you need to plug over in Chris McEwen world, be it YouTube videos, the other podcast, etc.
Yeah, the podcast, the Golf Origin Stories podcast is alive. It's back.
Let's go.
So, my guest is Sam Harrop. Do you know Sam? He's the one that plays all of the PGA Tour parody songs on his piano.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of surprised you got that. I didn't know that. Yeah, very well done.
Yeah, thanks. And he's a blast, and we have a really fun conversation, and you should go check it out. Golf Origin Stories.
Check that out.
What about you?
Over on driverangeheroes.com. We will be posting this week, as you're listening to this or watching on YouTube, the Callaway Epic Speed Driver review. A little late, but thanks to my good friends over at Dallas Golf Company in Dallas, Texas. Imagine that.
Go figure.
Thanks to them helping me out. Got to review the Epic Speed Driver. Have some interesting insight to look at that, especially with the new Callaway gear soon to be launching, like everybody else in the golf world. Yeah. But then, Chris, I have a very exciting one. They just came in. I couldn't be more excited to own them. Putting a little, I'm not really bearing the lead here. My Jordan 4 golf shoes review.
Oh yeah,
they're so sick. I was like, oh yeah, they're cool. Jordan 4s, whatever. And then I saw them, tried them on. I'm like, oh, these things are sick. I'm so pumped. I own these. And immediately went to eBay and started looking up all the other Jordan 4 colorways, going, well, maybe I need to get them. I haven't bought any yet. Don't worry. But yeah, check that out. And hey, if you are still watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things.
Well, I mean, on the podcast side of it, subscribe and leave a review and tell a friend.
Yeah, 5 stars, all that things. You get look. Let's get this thing going. Tell all the pals to have a listen. All right, we appreciate it.
That's right.
All right. Well,
and jump in on the the comments and stuff, and give us your resolutions and goals and things, golf or otherwise.
Yeah, maybe
let's have a conversation about it.
Maybe we'll steal them. We could. All right, let's wrap this thing up. I'm gonna try. I think we can still wrap the show up the same, even as a podcast, right?
Sure.
That's Chris McEwen at Chris McEwen on all the social medias. This is his YouTube channel. I'm Bill Bush.
You can't really do that well, but all right, that's fine.
That's a good point. You can't. If you're watching on YouTube, this is his YouTube channel. Otherwise, enjoy the podcast. Thanks. I'm Bill Bush, driverangeheroes.com, at Range Heroes on all the social medias. Make sure you give it a follow. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.